Welcome back to another episode of Mailbag Monday, where Chris and I are answering your marketing data and AI questions every Monday. This week, Lucas asked, what are the top 3 to 5 metrics we should be using in GA4 that maybe we don't know about? Chris, you love a Google Analytics question. And I feel like we get this question a lot, is people are always looking for what are the hidden features? What's the secrets that we don't know about Google Analytics? And I would say the secrets and the things that you don't know about are more so in the setup versus the reporting. The reporting, I feel like it's what you see is what you get. There's no magic to it. It's more of if you're setting it up correctly, then you can do more with your data. But, Chris, what's your thoughts?
I would agree with that statement generally, that it is the data you have to work with in Google Analytics is contingent largely on what you've done to set it up properly, right? So one of the first things you should do, Katie, is fill out your user story.
A user story. So a user story is a simple statement comprised of 3 parts. As a persona, I want to, so that. The persona is the stakeholder, the person that cares about the thing. The want to is the intent, the action, and the so that is the outcome, how you're measuring it. And so start with that user story of, as the CEO, I want to know how my marketing is performing so that I know who to fire. Okay, pretty straightforward. So you can go into Google Analytics and figure out, oh, how's the marketing performing? Is the thing that I'm doing working so that I don't get fired today? If you want to drill down more specific to more useful user story, it could be, as a marketing manager, I want to understand which channels are driving conversions so that I know where to budget appropriately.
Exactly. And here's the thing about Google Analytics, particularly Google Analytics 4, which very shortly, depending on when you watch this, or it may be already passed. After July 1, it's the only game in town. So July 1, 2023, it is the only game in town for measurement. And so the thing you have to think about with GA4 is that it is incredibly flexible. That also means that flexibility comes at a cost, and the cost is you've got to know what you want to measure, because you can measure anything, just about anything in it. It's just a question of how. So let me put up an example here. When you're building your conversions in GA4, you're basing them on events. You program an event in, and then once the event comes in, you decide whether that event is a conversion or not. Well, how do you know what events to have? Again, this goes back to it's configured in Tag Manager. How do you know what tags to create? It depends on what you want to measure on your site. So let me show you an example of this. Let's go into our tags here. Let's go into our GA4 contact us conversion. Is that a good one to convert? No, let's do the thank you. Here's the event. There's an event name. It's called thank you, right? It's any thank you. As someone goes to a page and fills out a form. There, you can then specify parameters. So I've specified here, there's a currency. The currency is US dollars. The value is $150. And the page that this event occurred on is set here in page URL. That comes from the data layer. That is now a dimension of this metric that you can analyze. So if you were to go into Explore Hub, not only could you see what events, how many thank you page conversions you have, but now you can see what the exact page was and count events per page, which means that you don't need, if you got a standard thank you form, you don't need 10 events for 10 different pages. You can have one event and put the page as a parameter within the event. And so you can have fewer conversions without losing any of the ability to slice and dice. If, for example, I had a red button and a blue button on a page for the, for conversions, I could specify the click URL, with red button, and one with, so I would have this would be a button color, it'd be red or blue, depending on the conversion event. And then I can pass that in, and then you can slice and dice that in GA4. People don't know to do this. People don't know that you can be this granular with events, because this is totally different than how we used to do goals and goal completions in GA3. Now, GA4, you can put, I think it's 20 parameters per event. So you can get super, super detailed on this. And that means you can then slice and dice. So the top 3 or 5 metrics you should be measuring in GA4 that you don't know about are the ones that you're not collecting data on because you didn't know you could. Anything that can create an event is data that you can pass into GA4. So it could be, whose picture on the page did you click on? If you're doing A/B testing, it's the variation of the page. What URL did somebody click on? You can determine if it's an outbound click. It's a click leaving your site. You name it. If Tag Manager can process it, then GA4 can measure it.
I wholeheartedly agree with that. I think that the out-of-the-box metrics, if, Lucas, your question, or what are the top 3 to 5 metrics, if you were hoping for things like bounce rate and engagement rate, that's not it. It really comes down to how you're setting up your system, and then, you getting really specific and granular with how you're measuring it. And if you want to learn how to do that, we actually have a course. You can go to trustinsights.ai/GA4 course, where you can learn how to set up your own Google Analytics 4 system. Or if you want to just reach out to us, we can help you do that at trustinsights.ai/contact, and you'll get John Wall. John Wall is happy to talk to you all day, every day about getting your GA4 set up. But I think that that's really it. There's no magic secret metrics that people aren't using that exist in GA4. It's what you can create is the magic secret metrics.
Yeah, the magic is the dimensions, right? Because you really have what? 4 measures. You have an event, you have a user, you have a session, and you have a page view. I mean, those are the 4 basic metrics. So it's a question of how granular can you make any one of those metrics? And the answer is based on the dimensions, and the dimensions are based on the parameters. So if you create a lot of detail and a lot of refinement and a lot of thought from based on your user stories, you can create very granular systems of measurement that give you the answers that you want based on the user story.
I agree.
All right. Well, if you've got some GA4 questions or metrics that and parameters and dimensions you created that you want to talk about and share, pop on over to our free Slack group. Go to trustinsights.ai/analyticsformarketers, where you and over 3,000 other marketers are asking and answering each other's questions every single day. And if you want to catch up on back issues of Mailbag Monday, make sure you're subscribed to our newsletter. Go to trustinsights.ai/newsletter, where we share all of our content every single week. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll talk to you next time.